Coming back, for mini project, what you have to do is that for this submission and demo on 17th of March, what you will do is that you will submit all your source code as a zip file, either through Moodle if you can upload. If it is too big, you can put it up on a drive and submit a link for that, and we'll download that on that day. And for the demo, you prepare a 10-minute video, maximum of 10 minutes. So it could be 5 to 10 minutes. And where you will have that video, you will have a demo of your recording of the demo of your application. And you can put it up as a YouTube video and share the link. And doing it on YouTube will be helpful because we don't need anything else. We can simply click on the link and it will run. We don't want to download and then there will be issues with the versions and all. That's something we do not want. So what you will do is that you will have a demo put up as a YouTube video, which we will see. So on 17th, you have to submit complete source of your project and a link to your YouTube video for the demo. So that is what is the deliverable finally for the first mini project. Is that clear? Anyone has any doubt up to this?
Sir, is this a web app or a mobile app?
Oh, yeah, this is a good question. So this is a web app. Okay. So this is a web app, and now what we'll do is that we'll expect that from any browser, we should be able to access it and see it is working. Okay. So of course that whatever you submit, so if we like our TAs will download and they should be able to install it and see that it is working. Okay. So that is what we want to achieve.
So are we expected to like make raw SQL queries, or are you supposed to use an ORM or
ORM, yeah, good question. So what is important is that you see that you should not have something that is like coming as default and you just have that and it works. Okay. So ideally you should be, so that is what we'll do, that the evaluation will be relative based on the richness of the functionality. Okay. So if we see that you are supporting certain queries which actually fetches result from multiple tables and can support maybe some form of ad hoc queries, take some inputs from the user, and based on that it can actually have written some custom queries which will fetch the data, then relatively that will be performing better, and that will be getting higher marks. Okay. And if you just have these basic you use tools which simply fetch data from one table, all the default screens, etc., then relatively it will be marked lower. So that is right. And we have no restriction on which platform you can use. You can choose your platform, but it will be, as the important point is that it should be a web-based application. So when you show your demo in the recorded video, you should show that, so this is the site. So it could be your local host, which is fine. It is not that it has to be hosted somewhere and from some. I mean, we have to be able to access it from anywhere. But if you host it somewhere, which is also fine. I mean, if you want to host it on Heroku or you want to host it on AWS and all, so those are your choices. Okay. But it is not necessary. Yeah, what is necessary is the richness of functionality, and the YouTube video should demonstrate that. So we start the screen. This is the opening screen, and these are the menu options. So like if you, for example, consider ERP application, so you have the first screen where you enter your user ID password. Then it goes to some menu items, and then you can choose a menu, and then under that there are 2 or 3 options. So you can mm, uh, uh, structure your demonstration like that, and you record it showing the functionality. And in the process also you show that, see, if I enter this, now I go to the say MySQL database in the backend. So here, see, these were our tables. So you can give a brief introduction that we had these so many tables, because that ER diagram and database schema you would have uploaded in advance. So you can say that, oh, these were these 10 tables. But suppose you made some minor changes after you submitted the schema, which is fine. I mean, it is not that just because you submitted, so that will be separately evaluated, and then if you make minor changes, those are all fine. And there you show that, see, from this screen we make this entry, and now I will go to the MySQL database, and you see that this row got added, and then there are two rows in these two tables, and if we retrieve, these two are supposed to be retrieved. So you go back to the browser and show that I am giving this as input and I am retrieving the data, and this is what I get. So you show through the demo that what you have done, that actually if you give an online demo, suppose you gave that live demo, what we would have seen, that you can actually do yourself and record and share with us. So that is what is the expectation. Now, and before I will come to that lab test too, but then for the mobile app, it is like this, that this mobile app will be a, a scaled down version of, in terms of functionality of this browser based app. Okay, so if you had say 8 to 10 tables in the browser based app, that is mini project 1, let us call it, then in this mobile app you will be you can have between, like, say, four or five tables that will be used. So you can have a this scaled down version of this mini project 1. And what is important is that you do not just show that in the mobile app I connect to that browser and it is working. It is not like that. It should ideally be a proper mobile app where you like, say, if you consider any app, say you consider your the alarm clock in say Android. So in there, what you do is that you see that this functionality in the app is limited, right? You simply can scroll up or down a little bit to choose the hour and choose the minute and set the time, set the alarm and so on. So that is fine. So the mobile app itself could be very simple app, but it should be a true Android app. Okay, and it should connect to the database. Okay, so that database, if you want, you can have it in the local one, like a SQL Lite database, and whichever way you want, you can do it. Okay, or if you want to connect to your server, which is maybe on your laptop, that also is fine. Okay? So again, for the mobile app, what you can do is that this submission, you submit all your code, etc., and a demo, so you can show a demo for that mobile app. So we'll work that out, that how you can give the demo. We
Sure.
can we
So
can
like for the
uh,
tech stack, so you can use any SQL database, right? It doesn't have to be MySQL.
yeah, you can use any SQL database. Okay,
And
absolutely.
sir, and
Yeah,
so for the mini project, it must be web based. So any front end, and for the
mm.
mobile app, it must be some mobile app. So we are free to use Flutter for an instance because that is easier to use than.
Now what do you mean is any mobile app? Like, are you
Meaning,
uh,
sir, if I'm writing for Android, then like if I'm writing in native Android, then it is in Java or
mm-hmm,
JVM based language, and
mm-hmm.
for for iPhones it is in Swift, and so these are like specific to the companies. And
Yeah,
if
right,
I'm
right.
generalizing it, then I can write it in Flutter or something else, some
Oh,
React Native.
okay, I understand. So first thing is that yeah, so you can use anything, but like, I mean, if it is an Android app, that is what we normally do. So if you think that all the group members, you want to develop an iPhone app, so that is also fine with us. If I mean, we don't want you to again get hold of an Android phone for that, but you can use any platform.
And
What?
sir, can we reuse code from our mini project to our mobile
Yeah,
app.
that is all fine, and just keep in mind that you do not end up showing the mini project demo once again here, like mini project one. You are just simply connecting to that, and you have 3 lines of code here which connects to that same app, same server from your mobile phone. Okay, so that is not what is acceptable. It should be a true mobile app.
So
But
should can it be some different thing or it should be the same project?
same application, but as I said, it could be a scaled down one. So
Oh,
it cannot be a different project.
okay, okay.
So because like
Hmm.
let me if I'm saying it this way, so if I'm separating the thing into back end and front end, then
Mhm.
we have two front ends. One is a web browser and one is a mobile app. And the back end is effectively common, isn't it?
But you do not end, as I said, that it could be, if you see that suppose in your backend, say there are 10 tables. Okay, what I meant is that in the mobile, in the browser based app, I should be, if there are 10 tables, then from the front end of the browser based app mini project one, I should be populating all those 10 tables in some form of the other, right?
Yes, sir.
And if we populate data in those, there should be some way of getting back data from those tables also, otherwise there is no point putting the data, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, for the mobile app, so then say for those populating those 10 tables, and 10 tables, remember, as I said, that you use ORM or something which will ensure for each table you have the default screen for populating that. It should not be like that. Okay, so for example, I'll give you this, like you know about this, say student, you have to enter student's roll number, name, address, and say one or more mobile numbers. Okay, and when I say one or more, it can be any number of mobile numbers. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How will you do that? So what
Sir,
you
we
have
will
is,
need two tables.
you'll need 2 tables, but in the front end what happens, that it should be like this, that you enter like what we call a summary and detail information. So summary is that we'll take roll number, name, address, and detail is now in a tabular form, one by one I can enter different phone numbers. Okay, and there cannot be any
Yes, sir.
limitation to that. If you do that,
Okay,
then what
sir.
will happen? The first part will go to the student table, and the second part, so roll number and mobile number, that will go to the student mobile table. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
You are able to follow, all of you, right? So that you should be able to show. Okay, not that I first enter some student and then another one I have roll number and mobile number, roll number, mobile number, roll number, mobile number. I keep entering the same roll number. It should not be like that. Is not a good design you yourself would like to use as a user interface, right? Now coming to the mobile app, you need not show that in this example, that you can say that I am only showing, I am only assuming that this only the student and the student's other details are entered, the mobile number entry I am excluding. Okay, because if you can show that truly you can do this part, then given enough time you can do the second part also. But when you do this part, it should not be that through your mobile phone you simply call the same application running on a host. Okay, where it is through the mobile you only access it. So you should properly have a user face which runs truly for the mobile phone. Now if it could be Android or it could be any for the your iPhone.
So, sir, for the mobile app, we cannot have a server running. That is the point.
Not it is not that it cannot have a server running. You can, first of all, you can show it locally in your like you can have the database locally in your phone. That is the ideal. Okay, that you show that here I have used SQLite or any other database, and then the phone, it runs standalone on the phone. So that is what the ideal is. If there is a major difficulty, but then whether it would be easier for you to connect to a server hosted somewhere else, okay, and then show that instead of doing it like SQLite in my local phone, I am posting the data there, that is okay. But your interface should be a true this mobile app. It should not be a browser app running on your mobile. That's
So,
what.
sir, there shouldn't be an API. That's the point.
Right. I mean, API, I mean, should not be an API. I am not sure whether that is the right term to use.
So suppose
Yeah.
we structure a project like this.
Hmm.
We have one application that is running, say either it's hosted or it's running on localhost that will connect
Right.
to the database, and it has an API. So
Uh-huh.
if I send an API request, it will like check the logic, do all the constraint checking, and put
Right.
it into the database,
Right. Right.
or retrieve data from the database and send it back as through the API. Now I have two clients. One is my web app, so that
Mhm.
just makes API requests to send data or fetch data, and my mobile app that also does API calls to send data and fetch data. Is that allowed?
No, that is not allowed.
Okay, sir. So that's what I was asking. Like,
Okay,
so
okay, that
basically,
is not allowed because I mean it is not necessary that the first part also is implemented in that sense what you could call as an API. Okay, that also may not be necessary because from the in the first one, mini project one itself, you could have your see there are different. You might be thinking in terms of one particular platform. Other platforms that may not use this notion of API. So you have the database in the back end, and then from the front end, it will make a proper and appropriate directly it will use a JDBC or DBC call to connect to the database also. So there are many ways of doing it, but
okay, sir. I get
to
your
answer
point.
answer your question, I now got what you said. So it shouldn't be that it again makes the same API call and everything gets done. But as I said, it is absolutely fine to have a scaled down version of the mini project one as part of your this mobile app. Okay, because
Okay.
here what we want is to learn how to connect and fetch data, not so much about the richness of the functionality. That is not our goal. Hmm? Because as you will see, many of you for your projects later on and so on, or later when you work in a company or go for internship, you'll see that they will just say that develop a mobile app. So this will give you that some knowledge about that. So how things work is what is important, not so much about the richness of the functionality. And it should not be that the existing this mini project one you just make the same calls and it works. So that is not right.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. And for lab test 2, let me tell you this. So lab test 2, so this mini project, it is important that although there are three members, up to three members in a group, so you can do it alone, you can do it with one more, or you can form a group of three. And so just make sure that all of the group members learn all the concepts, because in lab test 2 we'll have exactly what you have done in mini project 1, but it will be giving you some problems, simple problems that will have maximum maybe at most say 5 tables. The need would be like 4 or 5 tables, and there what you have to do is that you have to develop an app similar to what you have done in mini project, and that is what we wrote, similar to mini project. And in this case, you don't have to prepare ER diagram and database schema and all. I mean, you don't have to submit. If you for your work, if you feel you can do a proper schema design and all. But here we will not focus so much whether your database design is correct or it is is appropriate as per the ER diagram and all. So those will not be required. What we want is that all of you, if you have contributed to the mini project, you should be able to develop a simple such web application. And there, if you feel that some common logic code that you had used in your mini project you want to reuse and all, those are all perfectly fine. Okay, but and this again will be a very small application, but you should be able to develop it within that test duration of the test. And here also that final submission will be your code and a video which will show the demo. Okay, so if you will have say and this demo will be maybe for at most 5 minutes or so. So you can upload your application and then you can take maybe 10 minutes or so or 15 minutes to prepare a maximum of 5 minute video. Okay, so you will get some extra time so that if the first demo is not satisfactory, you can re-record it and so on. Okay, and again you will put it up on your YouTube channel and share the link. Any question? And one more thing you need to see is this part on 3rd of March. What we have is that this is the submission. Okay, so there's that mini project ER model and database schema submission. So we'll set a time for that. And we also have this assignment of Oracle AWM. So what we will do is that we'll see whether to do it on that day or on the next week. So depending on whether we can cover, so this is about this data warehousing. So if we can cover it during the week of before 3rd of March, which might be a little tight, so then we'll have it on this day. Otherwise, we might shift it to the following week. Okay. So we'll have some time reserved for this assignment related to data warehousing. And the rest will be so submission for, if it is on 3rd of March, it is fairly simple. For 10th of March, because this review means that assigned TAs will take a look at the progress. So I mean, we'll distribute the workload. So we will have some time reserved for that review, and if required, that can be done offline also after the lab hours. So that's not a major issue. So that is to give you feedback whether you are on the right track, like number of tables and richness of functionality and so on. So this assignment on Oracle AWM, that is a little flexible, either on 3rd of March or on the 10th of March. But we would like you to also look at this, because that is again this analytics workspace manager of Oracle, which is also something that has got a lot of value if you can show that you know some of the basic concepts. So it is important that all of you, please, for the mini project, you contribute equally to the project, because all of the team members will get equal marks irrespective of who is giving the recording the final demo, etc. Okay. So, but it is important that everybody knows it, so that during the lab test, everybody can develop the simple, very simple applications, and also everybody knows how to do the recording, or whether you do a screen grab or whatever, and prepare a YouTube video and post it on your YouTube channel and share the link. Okay, so only this one there is some uncertainty, so I will just mark it in red for the time being. If required, it can be shifted to the next. Okay. Professor Ghosh, is there something else you feel?
No, I think that is perfect. So they have to, that one is that web-enabled database application, another is through mobile app. Right? So that is in the mobile app. Try to. It will be nice that if you can keep your database in the mobile itself. Some there are like SQLite and other things. Other things, I think that's absolutely perfect.
Okay, so overall, you see that I mean, now onwards, it is more of group activities other than maybe 2 days part, and that short assignment on Oracle AWM. So it is group activity. So you prepare your own team and you divide your workload. Just make sure that all of you know how to develop this database application, so that you can do well in the lab test. So lab test to mine, it is not a group test. Okay, it will be individual. And as I said, that you can reuse the code that you have created for the mini project. And all the group members can reuse these appropriately, but they might be given different problems. So the basic framework, if you want to reuse, everybody can reuse their own framework. That's not a problem. Okay, so
Sir, how much time will be given in lab test 2?
Similar time, like about 2.5 hours for doing it, and then another, say, 15-20 minutes for uploading.
Okay, sir.
But what is important is that in spite of telling this, what many of you do is that you try to take that extra submission time also for doing your work, which you did during lab test 1, and then ended up not being able to submit and sending us after 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, someone sending after half an hour. So that is something you should not do. Okay. So just ensure that if it is 2.5 hours for the test, after that the whatever 15-20 minutes you use it only for uploading, because some other student might have done that, stopped at 2.5 hours and then uploaded in 10-15 minutes, and if you take another 15 minutes, that is not fair to them. And then you say that, oh, my this scanner was not working, my this was, I forgot this that, so my network was not working. That is something which is going to do a disservice to your fellow students who completed things in time and submitted also in time. So keep that in mind, and we want that all of you learn how to do these things, this developing web application. Okay. And again, for the lab test, what is important is that we'll see whether you have been able to actually make a working system. And as I said, not more than 5 tables, at most 5 tables. So you have to create those 5 tables in whatever platform is convenient for you, and develop some screens for that. Also, one more point you would note is that, as you have seen, that for a lab we have 40 marks, of which 20 is coming from these 2 tests and remaining 20 from the assignment. So each assignment only contributes maybe about 3 to 4 marks roughly. Okay. So that is what you need to consider. Of course, you can do well in the assignments to keep collecting those marks, but as such, the final weightage for each assignment will not be more than maybe 4 marks or so roughly. Okay, so if there is no other question, then I will stop sharing this. Okay, and you all have got the link, so that is perfectly fine. And then I am stopping the sharing, and now I will upload the today's assignment. So give me 2 minutes. I'll just let you know. Okay. Okay, so I am almost there. Okay, so what I have done is that now this is made available, and you have full 3 hours to work on it. Okay, so the schedule time is 15:40. Sorry, 5:45. Okay, so you can keep working. I am now stopping the recording.